Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Lisa, and this is the tools that you're going to need for our first scrap or mini album 101. Okay, so the first thing, and I think probably the most important, is a paper cutter. Now, this one is the Fiskars Pro. You can get it, Michael's, Joann's, but I was a long time before I got this because it runs a little over $100. But I did use a coupon with it. I think I got mine at Hobby Lobby. But this, to me, is the best cutter I have ever used in my life. Now, I do have another cutter that I like very much. This is the older model. I understand the newer model basically works the same. This is a We Are Memories Keeper, and it's called Trim and Score. And so you have your scoreboard and your cutter in the same thing. This works very well, and it's easy to find your cutter. This piece here that the cutter runs on is actually very, very thick, and it doesn't move. Some of the scoreboards that you will buy, you can even pinch these together. You can spread them apart. This one you really can't unless you really put a lot of effort into it. So this you open, and then you can cut. When this is open and you close this, and you have your own little, I'm trying to get it over so you can see, you have your own little score tool, and then you can score. So this is a very nice one too. Now, if you have a cutter already and it is working for you, then that's great. I'm not advocating for you to run out and buy something. I'm just, whatever cutter you have. And then I also have this one. These two are the ones that I use pretty exclusively. The other one is when I travel. I usually will travel with that. But I usually at least cut all my base pages out and stuff before I leave with these, so that I know I've got, like, the most pristine cuts that I can get. So anyway, this is called a guillotine cutter. This is a smaller one, and these are nice for when you have smaller pieces. And this really wasn't all that expensive, and there's a lot of different ones out there. Read your reviews, look at some YouTube where people go on and rank them, which ones they like the best. I know there's a lot of good ones out there. Like Tim Holtz has one. There's a lot of good ones out there. So you just find which ones are going to work best for you. But you got to remember that all of your, oh my Lord, my puppy has gas, and I'm sorry, that took my breath away. oh Lord. But you have to get the one that's going to work for you both financially and space-wise. This one actually opens up and has a measurement out to 13 inches. So you can do a lot with this. I keep it on a rolling cart that's next to me. And that's how I work with it. But the paper cutter is kind of touches everything that you're working with. And so, if you can afford to get one. Now, if you cannot afford to get one, then that's fine. If you have a ruler and a craft knife, and of course some kind of board. This is a piece of glass. If you like, some people like working on glass, some people don't. You want to make sure that your ruler has a metal side, so that is where you can use your cutting tool. But these, and you can get just the plain simple, I don't know if I still have that one in here somewhere. I don't really use it anymore, so I might have pulled it out. But, you know, you can get those little ones that just ratchet up and cut. A lot of people use those. I got this for Christmas. I absolutely love it. Don't know how much you paid for it. And I can change the blades. I've got spare blades right in here. Or right in here. I don't remember now. Right here. I got spare blades right in here. So, this is a little heavier, but it gives me nice cuts. So you can also do just cutting with these. And if you don't have a glass mat, if you have some kind of mat that has you know, like these are inch squares. There's no numbers on it, but you know, you can still figure out this is an inch. Each box is 1/4 of an inch. So, you know, as long as you've got something that's going to help you, that in that way, it makes it a little easier too. Okay. So, a good ruler. Now I have this ruler, and then I also have, this is my Tim Holtz ruler. And where did I put the other one? Here it is. Oh. Microphone. Sorry, guys. All right, let's hook this back on. I had to stretch a little farther. And then I have this ruler that has centimeters. You don't have to have, you know, one that has both. I do it because I have started trying to do centimeters for the people that don't do inches. But really, this one does not have a metal edge to it, so I do not cut with my, because you will cut bits of your ruler off. Actually, I'm thinking that is a little metal piece right on the end there, but I use my Timmy. And one of the things that I like about the Tim Holtz ruler, or any ruler that you might, if you haven't purchased one yet, is find a centering ruler, because that is going to be helpful to you as well. If you do buy a Tim Holtz ruler, I have a little hack for saving, because if you see my old one, can you see? Let me put a piece of paper behind it. I don't have very many lines left on there. You can't hardly see. These two dark lines are where I took a marker and tried to mark on it, but I can't see. And then if you look at this one, you have dotted lines. I couldn't see any of those anymore, and all of these lines. So I have a little hack video. If I think about it, I'll put that with, you know, down below. But anyway, so you will need a ruler and a craft knife, something to cut your paper as well. You still need these, even if you have a paper cutter or are going to get a paper cutter. You still need these. Glue. I use art glitter glue. There's no glitter in it. That's the company name. The company actually started out making glitter and figured out, hey, you know, let's make a glue that's going to hold this glitter. So that's why they have, and they make 3 different types of glues. They have a fabric glue that dries clear. They have a glue that dries white. And then they also have this is the glue that dries clear. So you want to make sure that you have the dries clear one instead of the dries white, or just the fabric one. You cannot order this in the winter. If you want to order this, you need to find somebody that sells it. You can just go online and type in art glitter glue, and you will find different places, Etsy, Amazon, and, you know, mom and pop shops probably carry it, and online mom and pop shops carry it. So The other glue that I really like to use when I'm doing any kind of fabrics or laces is the Beacon Fabri-Tac. Now this one you can get at Walmart, Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby's I think is called something different. Fabri-Fix I think it's called. But it's the same thing as long as it's Beacons. Now this one will take your nail polish off if you will wear nail polish. So, and it has a little bit of a smell to it. It's not overwhelming because I'm usually pretty sensitive to that, but it's good. It's a good glue. So there you're gonna need some glue. Scotch quick dry glue is also a good glue. I prefer the art glitter glue myself, so that's what I use. We're gonna make marks on pencils, so having some kind of eraser. This thing has gone through the mill, but it's a good one. So you'll need some kind of eraser. You're going to need a pencil, and we're working with black, so you're going to want possibly to have a black Sharpie. I also have different pens that give you different thicknesses. So a fine tip or a medium tip. Whatever you got, that's a black marker, but your pencil is the one that is going to be making all your marks that you're going to need an eraser, because 9 times out of 10 these things don't work. At least for me, I don't know. I also have a little ruler that I use. I absolutely love these. You don't have to go out and buy one of these. As long as you've got a ruler, you're good. Sometimes it's just nicer just to have a little one if you're playing with just a little area. You're going to need a scoring tool. Now, sometimes on the scoreboards or like the We Are Memories Keeper cutter, you get a score tool with the item. You can use these. You can also go to Michael's, Joann's, and you'll get score tools like this. These are just plastic, and they call them bone folders. Okay. These that I have here, this one is Teflon, and I'm trying to remember where I got it online. I think it's called bonefolders.com, I think. But these don't leave marks on your paper. These do. When you go to score, let me grab a piece of black here. When you go to score, now you see the black paper, there's no marks on it. And you want to get a good burnish on there. Now, can you see that sheen on there? Well, you're going to see that sheen on there for the rest of the time that you do it. Okay? Yeah. I don't like that. When you do one, I'm just going to fold a little piece of this with this bone folder. So I'm going to show there's no sheen on it. And we're just going to give it a nice score. There's no sheen on it. You see that paper is just black and plain. So the Teflon ones are super nice to have, but it's not necessary. As long as, when you use this, if you score on the side that's not going to be seen, then it's no biggie. If you score on the side that's going to be seen, then, most of the time you're going to cover it up. But I sell mine, so I pay attention to those little things. And since you're learning, you might as well learn the differences and what you can get. This runs you about $35 to $40, and that's not including shipping. These are like $5.99 or $6.99 at Michael's or Joann's, and you can use your 50% coupon, so you're going to get it for $3 or $4. Okay, $2.50 to $3, something like that. That goes the same with these. They're pretty much all plastic that you get with your with your scoreboards. Since I have this pulled out, you will need some kind of scoring tool. Now, having said that, you can still go back to your ruler, and as long as you have some kind of score tool, you can even get a stylus. Now, we used to do these a long time ago, and there's little balls on the ends of them. And this one's a very small ball. So you could do this. You lay your paper down, and you just take your ball and run it where you needed to run it. And it gives you a score line. And you fold it over, burnish it, you're good to go. So you don't need to go out and buy one of these. If you think you're going to plan, or if you really like making mini albums, it does make the work a little easier. And so, you know, this kind I also have for my, and I use this a lot when I'm designing my pages, but this is a Stampin' Up score. But Martha Stewart has one. We are memory keepers. You know, I pulled this out earlier. This one opens up and does a full, and it has a lock. So you would put these, close these up across here, and they would lock. So it opens up to a full 12 by 12. Okay, so lots of different options. This is a good one. This is a good one to start off with. It really is. I used it exclusively for quite some time, until I finally just got tired of messing with them, and I just went and bought the big one. You're going to need some kind of pokey tool. Now, I have this one, which is what I use most of the time, but this one is a little thicker. So it all just depends on what size hole you want to be making. You know, but you only need one. You can always make it bigger by just kind of circling it around in the hole if yours is just really thin. Tweezers are always nice to have. It's not essential. You can get the tweezers that you pluck your eyebrows with. I have some, I think these are jewelry, some kind of jewelry tweezers. I've got quite a few different ones that I've just gotten at garage sales and stuff, but this one is my favorite. And so I keep this on my table all the time. And you will need a good pair of snips. Tim Holtz makes a pair of scissors that are Teflon. These are not Teflon. I think these were from Stampin' Up. They say China on them. You can get the Bumblebee scissors. Those are pretty much the same thing as these, and you can get those at Hobby Lobby and Michael's. They're black and yellow. I usually keep a pair of those when I go. I have that in my travel bag. This is Martha Stewart's. I think hers are Teflon coated, but hers are the nut. Okay, the nut that's holding that up, you can see that. See how far that sticks out? Well, when you're doing little stuff, that gets in the way. Look at this nut. It doesn't stick out near as bad. Okay, so these I don't use that often. I just don't. They cut nicely, and maybe they'll work for somebody else. Now, these little Fiskar scissors, if you have sore hands or can't get your fingers to work in these, this is another really good option. And it's a Fiskar's product, and Fiskar's has always been very reliable. These Tim Holtz, these are soft-sided. You can get, your whole hand in here, so it's almost like using the Fiskars scissors. There is a beveled edge on the end of these, and also sells them where they're longer. This does pretty well, but cutting tiny bits, I tend to like to have my snips. So I just kind of keep my snips on me at all times. Now, these also will cut wire, chipboard. These are really good scissors to have. It's the Tim Holtz Tonic, Tonic Studios puts these out. So just more FYI stuff. I am using, you can't even see the label anymore, but it's the Distress ink, just the old regular Distress ink, and it's the Black Soot Tim Holtz Distress ink. Now, if you have any black ink or whatever color ink you want to use, all of it will work. A dye ink. You want to kind of stay away from the pigments because they don't dry fast. So you wanted any kind of black dye ink. And if you have the smaller ones, now this isn't black, but if you have these smaller ones, you can just take the top off and just use it on the edge of your paper. Now, it will, if you can see, because that's what I've done with this before, it will tear up your sponge. The ink is still there and it will still work, but you will tear up your sponge if you do it with the ink pad. But it's totally workable with the ink pad. These, I think you can still get these at Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby. They're just a inking tool, and there's a Velcro, and then these are the pads, and there's the other side of the Velcro on there, and they just hook right on. I usually use one pad for an entire, and this one was already used. It wasn't a new one. I'm trying to use up all of my used ones because I'm frugal. And, but, you know, it's just inking the sides of the paper is all I'm doing. So I do off camera so that I'm not doing it over my work, because all these little tidbits will fall off. And then I get little black marks on my paper. Another thing that you're going to want to have is we are going to be using some magnets. Now, you can go online, Amazon, Etsy, and most of the mom and pop online stores, most of the mom and pop box store, you know, those stores, they all have the magnets. Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, for the most part though, those big box stores, their magnets are too big. These are approximately 1 millimeter thick. And then, you know, they can be, I think, let me get my centimeter rule out again. I think these are, this one is 1, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this one is 8 millimeters in diameter. That's pretty small. So, you know, anywhere between 8 and 10 is a good size. Okay. So anywhere between 8 and 10, and the thinner the better. So 1 millimeter is great because it hides in the paper really well. I'm not using a ton of them, but I think most of the time if you buy like the basic gray ones, you're getting a dozen. That's going to be plenty. If you buy them online, you're usually getting 50. And you actually, they're not sticky on one side. When you buy the basic gray ones, they are sticky on one side. But I show you how to deal with them with no sticky on them. And it's a lot cheaper to buy like 50 of them. If you have a couple crafty friends, you can split them up between all of you, you know. So there's that tidbit of information. I also have been using black eyelets. So that's an eyelet, you know. No, I'm sorry, brad. Buh. So that's your brad. I'm not using any eyelets on this one because I am just assuming that you're going to have basic, your basic tools. I will, throughout the video, go through how you're going to use your tools, the best way you're going to use your tools, and that kind of thing. So I do try and help you with that kind of information. So that is about it, guys. I think the next video that you're going to see, we're going to start with our base pages and putting those all together. So I hope that you have been gathering your supplies. Now you know what tools you're going to need. If you start this off without some of these tools, you might find that you'll find a way around not having it. So you're just going to, we're going to do the best we can, and we're going to learn as much as we can. Oh, also, you are going to need score tape. Now this is called Sookwang. It's Sookwang. But if you put in score, SCOR, score tape, on Etsy, Amazon, any of the online craft stores, you're going to find this. It is a lot cheaper than the red tape that you can get at Michael's and Joann's if you have a coupon, but you get like 27 feet on one of these rolls. This one's almost done, but you get like, this is a little more almost new, not quite, but you get 27 feet on this one. The red tape, I think you get like 15 if I'm correct. And this is tearable, tearable, not terrible like bad. So you can tear it. The red line tape, you cannot. You have to cut it. It will not tear for you. So you will need at least one whole roll of 1/4 inch. If you go on Amazon, you can find a deal sometimes where you'll get like 2/4 inches and 1/3 of an inch, or 2/4 inches and 1/2 an inch, and that way you will have, you know, enough to do. You're probably going to go through a mini album, pretty much, because you're going to use it to build your book. You're going to use it to add your pages into your book. And then there's other elements that we will use. You're going to use it for any magnets. So you will need this. And I also recommend a container. I have a slightly smaller one for my scraps. But these are dollar store containers. Any container that you want to use that will house your little pieces, your little scraps. You can do one for cardstock and one for your designer paper, for the little pieces. However you want to do it. I have binder clips that I use. So if you want to get some binder clips, paper clips would work just fine as well. But this keeps my smaller pieces to my larger pieces all together. This is a slightly larger one for my black. Now this black is not all from this project. This is from other projects as well. So I just kind of keep, because I use mostly black, but I don't use exclusively black. Okay, guys, I think that's plenty. So I hope you gather all your supplies, gather all your tools, and let's start and let's learn some fun stuff. And if you already know how to do some, well, maybe I'll give you some good tips and tricks that will help hone your skills to be better. And if you have never made one, this is the perfect time to go ahead and start. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching, and you have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you later. Bye.